Hi everyone. It's almost Christmas, but so in the last 10 days or so, both the Manchester Evening News and the BBC have done hit pieces against me, and they've both invited me to take part. But having good spidey sense, I knew it was going to be a hit piece, so I politely declined both the MEN and the BBC News from getting involved. Now, before we begin, I just want to show you a short excerpt which I share now in fair use for commentary.
I should say we asked Charlie Cveitch to take part in the programme, but he declined. Sarah Lester is editor of the Manchester Evening News, and they just published a report into Charlie Cveitch.
What we wanted to do is look at Charlie Cveitch's journey. He is a guy who thinks he's documenting something. He's quite charismatic as well, and he's basically exploiting, targeting, however you want to put it, the vulnerable. Some of these people, Piccadilly Gardens is an area where there's quite a lot of homeless people who live, they're battling addiction, mental health issues, and they kind of get baited until they react, and then that's uploaded for profit. It's really punching down, and there's no context. It's kind of like a human form of bear baiting, really. We
should say that Charlie Cveitch would probably not agree with the categorisation of his work, as you put it, but he's not here to put that himself.
You're damn right, BBC man. I would probably disagree with that way that you've described my, she calls it, he thinks he's documenting work. So that was Sarah Lester, the editor of BBC News. I will post the whole thing on my X account, which I'll link below so that you can all see the way she carried on. But so you've got this, this lady in her attic who... the physiognomy doesn't lie. She looks like the kind of person who's got maybe warped sentiments and instincts. And she's done the classic lefty liberal playbook of, first of all, taking away the agency of what I would describe as psychotic, drug-addled bums on the street and turning them into poor little, victim children who I'm taking advantage of. You saw her words. I'm doing a human form of bear baiting. I'm targeting them. I'm harassing them. I should maybe get my high-powered lawyers to have a word with you, Sarah Lester. See how you like it. So last week, the BBC MEN, Manchester Evening News, did an article titled, "Will the real Charlie Cveitch please stand up? Please stand up." And it was well written enough by the journalist, who again I politely declined to respond to because I knew it was a hit piece. And again, they speak to Andy Burnham, the mayor of Manchester's office. They speak to the council. They speak to members of the police. And to be fair to Greater Manchester Police, they say he operates within the law, so it's not a police matter. But the old dinosaur media, Manchester Evening News, BBC, they've gone after myself. Also, Kurt Kaz, the other YouTuber, he's been attacked in the Daily Mail this week. So it's open season on YouTubers now. Now, we don't even need to talk about the way the BBC has been, destroyed in other media, and quite rightly so, for their stitching of a Donald Trump speech to make him look like he's inciting violence. He's suing them for a large amount. We don't need to talk about the Eric Gill statue at the front of BBC headquarters, a man who, they've kept the statue there. It came out that he was doing some very strange things with his daughters. And we're not going to talk about Jimmy Savile, probably one of the top, in terms of, power at the BBC. He was one of their top guys, what he was doing to children throughout the years. So you've got this organization. I just want to be fair to the BBC guy. You're right. I would disagree with how Sarah Lester, the editor at Manchester Evening News. Now, this is classic lefty, wokey nonsense that she's probably watched some clips on TikTok, which are stolen from me. I don't post to TikTok. All my videos contain massive amounts of context. All my videos are very fair and very, very truthful because I'm literally filming in public, in the street, going about my adventures. And my remit, my aim is just to be able to walk around filming public things publicly without being bottled, without being attacked, without being injured. I've had to hire a security team for Manchester. Now, rather than maybe the establishment going, maybe Manchester is a bit effed up, maybe UK cities are in massive decline. No, they shoot the messenger. Classic, lefty, corporate-loving, nonsense media. And for her to then say that I upload it for profit, well, Sarah Lester, up in your attic with your frizzy hair, do you do your work for free? You might be a little bit more ideologically committed to your whatever you're doing than I am. You know, I want to save the country. I want people to see the truth. I want people to enjoy my videos. I've never said I'm a journalist. I've never said I'm the media. I may have a couple of times in the past said that, you know, when dealing with security, oh yeah, I'm a journalist just to try and gain access to somewhere. But that's about it. Otherwise, it's the Charlie Veitch show. And as the BBC guy then goes on to say, you know, maybe the old legacy media has got a thing or two to learn. And then the show goes on to this other lady who says that I need to be regulated. I need to be brought under regulation. You can't have independent guys walking around with their own opinions. And then they both said, both the guests, and that they're like saying, oh yeah, viewers might not know whether Charlie is the news or whether it's just his YouTube channel. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And so I didn't want to respond. I didn't want to get involved. But when they're literally defaming you on national television to millions of people, I don't know if people still watch the BBC, you're kind of forced to do a response. And so, Sarah Lester, you're seething with this kind of warped maternal instinct, I'd call it, seeing these people who you're taking away their agency on the street, turning them into little victim children, poor little children that if only they were allowed to take their drugs and like defecate and like attack people with bottles and stab each other on the streets of Manchester, then they'd be okay. No, it's not okay. And one of the reasons this country has gone to the dogs is because of sentiments like yours. You're an embarrassment to your company, you're an embarrassment to the truth, and you're an embarrassment to me for defaming me in the way that you have, saying that I'm doing a human form of bear baiting. No, I want to film publicly, which is everyone's God-given right to do. And you're there, and like you're doing the very thing that you're accusing me of doing. You're making money selling stories. You put the story about, will the real Charlie Veitch please stand up, behind a paywall. A paywall, so people have to pay to read it. And then you accuse me of uploading for profit. Oh no, that guy, he's trying to make money. He's trying to pay for his children. He's trying to buy his children Christmas gifts. This is the world we live in now. The messenger, that's why it became a meme. That's why it became a saying, don't shoot the messenger. I just want to document. And she goes, he thinks he's documenting it. Well, what am I doing? I'm pointing a camera at reality that's happening in front of me. That's it. That's literally it. That's all I've got to say. This is Charlie Veitch. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.